When I started my day this morning, there were no appointments on my calendar for notarizations, but by the time the clock turned noon, I had one appointment, one notarization appointment added to my calendar. I received a call this morning from an individual who wanted their last will and testament and power of attorney form notarized today. Um, she knew that she would need witnesses, and she offered to locate the witnesses. That doesn't happen very often. Most of the time, I am asked as the notary to assist with finding witnesses. So I'm really glad that she did this herself. It saves her money because it is rare for me to find someone to act as a witness without them wanting to receive some sort of compensation for their time. And so the appointment was booked. I let her know that the address that she saw on my website was a mailing address, not a office for her to come and meet with me. And so I gave her some options of where we could meet that would be convenient to her, convenient for me, in order to keep travel costs to a minimum. She was very happy with the options I presented her. And so I would encourage you, if you haven't done this already and you plan on doing general notary work, I'm going to pause here. I was sitting cross-legged in my chair, and all of a sudden my leg was like, this isn't comfortable anymore. And it wasn't that easy to get that leg out of that chair. So that's what you were seeing. Um, so, yeah, I would encourage you to scope out your community, identify at least three or four restaurants, locations, whether it's a library, someplace where you can meet with your customers that is convenient to you and convenient to them. Um, I did ask her a few questions about the documents so that I could get a better idea of what type of fee to quote. It's funny, normally that's one of the first questions that I'm asked when booked for notarization. She did not bring it up, and I had to slow her down to say, let's talk cost. And I did that because one, I know I don't like to be surprised by what a service will cost. So I explained how in Alabama, the approved notary fee is calculated, and that it is tied in part to the number of signatures that require notarization. And so I asked her to describe the forms. She did let me know witnesses were necessary on at least one of the forms. And so instead of me quoting her a fixed fee, I gave her a range. That range provided me with some wiggle room in case my math was off. And so I will say this, not all last will and testaments are alike. Not all power of attorney forms are alike. And so keep that in mind. Don't assume it's going to always be the same thing. It will not be. But what I did know is that I would definitely be notarizing the primary person, the primary signer's signature. I knew there was a possibility I'd have to put the signer under oath, but maybe not. I knew there would be two witnesses for at least one of the forms. But I did not know if the way the documents were drawn up, whether I needed to notarize their signature or not. So that's another reason why I gave the customer a range for my fee, and she was very okay with what I quoted her. I love that she was on time. In fact, she was early. We were both early. I thought it was her, but the way she described herself to me on the phone, she looked nothing like it. Nothing like it. I wanted to get into how she described herself. I will. She described herself as a short, round woman. I wasn't expecting that. Normally, when a customer describes themselves, they mention hair color, hair length, um, glasses, what they're wearing, and occasionally skin color. So I was so shocked by that, short and round. I was like, something tells me we met at Panera Bread. There are going to be quite a few short, round women there, but we found each other. Her witnesses had not arrived yet. That did not concern me. That did concern her. And I told her not to worry about it. I'm checking my notes. I want to make sure I touch on everything. Um, I wanted some time one-on-one with her because I'm a type of notary that performs several verbal ceremonies to make sure that the signer understands what they're signing and they aren't being forced to sign. And so I used that time. I let her know it was no problem. There were things that I could do during this time. And one of the first things I did is I went ahead and asked for her ID. I also asked to see the documents. And once I verified those two things, then I went ahead and I started prepping my journal with the information that I needed to add. She informed me that she prepared the document. She did not hire an attorney to do that. I used to really get a little uptight or concerned about that when the customer would tell me that, but I've learned over time, don't sweat um, about it. As long as the documents are complete, legible for me, especially, and the notarial certificate looks the way it needs to look, then I'm fine with it. And so Um, in reviewing the document, again, I'm checking the format. I want to make sure there is a clear place for the primary principal signer to sign, witnesses to sign. I want to check to see what the venue looks like, what the notarial act is. Am I going to need to place anyone under oath or not? And then if there is anything that needs to be corrected, go ahead and get that date, the year was incorrect. So I pointed that out to her and let her know she was really worried about that. And I explained to her how she should correct it. Um, what else? There wasn't a clear line to indicate where she would sign, but I gestured to where I felt she should sign, um, and to leave enough room for her to print her name underneath her signature. I did go ahead and suggested that she should go ahead and initial the lower right-hand corner of each of the documents. And she really liked that suggestion. I mean, there wasn't a line requesting it. I just let her know that that is something that I see done quite a bit. But if she didn't want to do that, that was fine with me. There was no issues at all with her identification. She provided me with a driver's license. I took time to really hold it up, compared it to her. She looked like her photograph. And so I felt good about that. And again, all of this was done or in progress while we waited for the witnesses to arrive. During this time, I really paid attention to what she was saying and how she was saying it. This is my way of not making a big ordeal over assessing her mental capacity, and her signing voluntarily. So I would ask questions, she would offer information, and I could tell that she was very alert, knew what she was doing. Talked about all of this, I believe. So then the witnesses showed up. There were two witnesses. The only thing that I require is that they have ID, they be able to speak and understand English, um, and that they really pay attention to what's going on. And the way that I do that is I ask them, have you ever witnessed someone signing legal documents before? Do you understand what your role is? And most of the time, they don't know why they're there. Apparently, someone said, hey, do this for me, and they'll say, okay. So these were two people that she knew. That's what she told me, she knew them. And so I introduced myself to the witnesses, and I explained to them what their role was, which is to observe signatures being made on both forms. And I let them know that based on how the forms were drawn up, I would be required to place them under oath. And then I verified their ID. I wanted to bring a formality, seriousness to the appointment, and they were all for it. For the oath, I've mentioned this a lot in my training classes. I choose to give the signer, the witnesses, a choice as to whether or not they swear to God or simply take an affirmation. Since both of those are under penalties of perjury, I don't see an issue. And so in this situation, the principal, the primary signer, did not want to invoke the name of God. And I was like, fine, no problem. Raise your hand. Do you affirm? And then the two witnesses were very comfortable invoking the name of God. So that took care of our oaths. And I indicated in my journal That one was an affirmation, and the other two were the traditional oath. Talked about that, talked about the fee. For witnesses, I like to see an individual who's at least age 19 or older. Um, don't ask me why, but once I explain the role of the witness, that pretty much lets the signer, the principal person, know they don't want a child acting, and even a teenager acting as a witness. That doesn't mean they can't, but I let the witnesses know it's possible someone from the probate office might reach out to them years from now and ask questions about the notarization. And they said that they understood. Once we started signing, it was very quick. Um, Everyone signed my journal. I showed everyone where to sign. If they had questions about where to sign, how to sign, whether to use their full name or not, I answered those questions for them. And then as soon as the witnesses were done, we went ahead and excused them, which is the norm. I don't feel as if witnesses need to stick around, but in this case, the principal person had offered to treat them for dinner for serving as a witness, but they both had things planned. And I've seen that happen before, where instead of paying a witness, the principal does something in kind, lunch or something. After the witnesses left and I was comfortable that I had finished my journal and proofread the documents, that's when I pulled out my equipment, my Square card reader. The principal tried to pay me earlier. I don't collect money in advance because I don't know if it's going to be a successful signing or not. And I don't like having to deal with issuing credits. So once we were done, I gave her the total fee and she paid with her credit card. And by using that reader, the app provides her with the receipt either by text, email. I think that's it. And we were done. And so the entire appointment was definitely less than an hour. I didn't really check the end time, but I would put it close to about 35, 40 minutes. So very easy and successful signing. And so I did remember to ask how she located me, and she let me know all she did was Google. She thought it was Notary Public Huntsville, and that's how she got my information. I enjoy doing wills, power of attorney documents when they are done, prepared by a lawyer or by the signer, and they're done and complete prior to the appointment. All right, I see myself glistening. It has been a warm day. And so I'm going to get out from underneath these lights. I hope this information is helpful to you. If you have any other questions for me about how to notarize these two documents, Oh, at the end of the appointment, I did ask her, I said, so do you know what to do next? She said, yes, I'm going to make copies, give them to my children, and then I'm going to put the original in a safe place. I was like, good. The reason why I asked that question, there are some people who think once they've been notarized, they need to go down to the courthouse and record them. And I know that these two documents don't require that at this point in time. It's too early for that. And so I wanted to save her an unnecessary trip. Now, could that be construed as me practicing law? I hope not. I don't think so. If I did, I wouldn't say it. I congratulated her on getting these important documents done early, before they're even needed, and she commented she felt so relieved by having it done as well. Again, I hope this information is helpful. Let me know if you have any other questions in the comments below, or if there are other types of documents that you'd like for me to do a video on. I did think of one more thing. How do I know whether I have to put someone under oath or not? The notarial certificate in the document is going to tell the notary that, which is why you will need to practice reading those notarial certificates that say paragraph, and that's what tells me whose signature gets notarized, who needs to be placed under oath, and that's what will also let me know if someone doesn't need their signature notarized. Thanks for tuning in, and I'll see you in the next video.